Welcome back to the warm-up. So, 3 major teams that I want to talk about today that have caught my attention and that are very worth talking about today, okay? One of them has a big rookie, very tall rookie. The other one is a younger team that's playing very, very well. The other one is a team that just out of the blue, and I already made a video about them, okay? So, obviously, talking about the Spurs first, okay? Spurs aren't doing so hot currently, but I think they are a team to watch out for the rest of the season. I mean, we've played, like 10 games? So we've got like 70-ish games left of the season. We got time. We got time for these teams, okay? So obviously Victor has a real shot at making the All-Star team as a rookie. I think he'll make I think just in terms of fan votes, people looking at it depending on how his stats are, I think they've dropped off a little bit since he had, 38 points in his 5th game against Kevin Durant. Like, I think they dropped out a little bit since then, but over the course of the season, I think they'll start to even out, and he'll be a pretty solid 20-10 guy. He's still figuring out how to play in the NBA. I think the Spurs will start running through him a lot more, and he'll be a 20-10 guy easy. So the young talent on this team seems to play better when the lights are brighter. I'm referring to back-to-back games against the Phoenix Suns earlier in the season, like the 4th and 5th game that they had this season. They fought hard in the first game, and the first lead is when Keldon Johnson just rips the ball from KD and goes up for a layup and wins the game. Like, they like the moment. Jeremy Sohan's one of those players. Devin Vassell is their 6'5" shooting guard. Technically, I say he's a point guard, but Sohan's running the point right now. But Vassell's averaging 20 a game from 40% shooting from 3. He's super shifty, and in watching both of the Suns games, he went crazy, taking the lead scoring when Wemby went to the bench. Keldon Johnson's also a standout since ripping KD and giving the Spurs the lead to win the game of the other night. He's only 6'5", like Vassell. I thought he was a lot taller than that. I thought he was at least 6'8". But he does a lot of the dirty work, and he's one of their main energy guys, if not their energy guy. He's their battery. A great rebounder for his height, and he's extremely athletic. I'd watch this dude. If you want to watch the Spurs games, you're going to be pleasantly surprised by watching Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson. Those two guys, they've had them for a little bit, for a couple years. And Wemby came in, and now they're kind of being brought to the forefront because Wemby is such a specimen. But they also have Jeremy Sohan, who's a very interesting kind of work in progress piece. Starting at the point guard position, I really like how he plays. Very good defensively, very athletic, stretches the floor, and he's not doing bad at the point guard. He's averaging 5 assists for 2 turnovers a game. Pretty good for a guy who is 6'8", 6'9". But man, is he athletic. He's really good at defense, reads the floor very well. He's competitive, but not give me the ball, I'm the best. Not really ego competitive. Kind of like Dennis Rodman a little bit, which is his main comparison because of his crazy, insane hair, right? But these guys just got the best prospect in the history of ever. And they're just having fun. They're just having fun with him. And I love that. KD is quoted as saying that you're not better than me until you've beat me 3 times in a row. And the Spurs beat him twice in a row on back-to-back nights. And the Suns are supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. And so that's my point for why the Spurs are a team you need to watch out for. Not saying that they're going crazy. I'm going to talk about those other 2 teams in a little bit and have a little bit more of a hot take on those teams. But Spurs need to be watched out for. These guys are going to be very, very good. Second team is the Orlando Magic, okay? What is there not to like about this team? Markelle Fultz resurgence, reigning Rookie of the Year, Paolo Banchero, and so much good talent. They've got a lot of young guards, but they've been good together. They've been playing well. Anthony Black is by far one of my favorite players on the team and one of my favorite players in the league, and he's just a rookie. He's only played 10 games. 6'7", true point guard who is extremely comfortable in his own skin. And he's only 19 years old. The way this dude moves around the court, there was a clip of him guarding Trae Young, who's not a bum, even though the whole thing about the Knicks and frick Trae Young and all that stuff. Trae Young is a very good point guard. I think he just had 17 assists last night, 16.17 assists last night. And that boy, he is quick. And Anthony Black is 6'7", and they stuck him on Trae Young. And there's a clip, I don't know if I can find it, where he jumps, there's a screen, and he kind of almost video game, cardinal direction moving. He went backwards and then to the side of the screen, and then was right in front of Trae Young again. Just it was, I was what? he's a 6th pick in this year's draft, and so he has just as much pressure as the next guy. Like number 6, the top 5 were really, really good players. Number 6 is still there. I mean, Anthony Black, maybe not as known as the top 5. It kind of dips off in terms of like household name type. But he's just out there producing, man. He's out there just playing basketball. They played the Lakers. He had a box plus minus of 36. 36. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal, 0 turnovers. Starting point guard, like having a plus minus of 36 while scoring 11 points and having 4 rebounds is like, what? I am very impressed with this guy. And Paolo as well. Pure scorer. Just came off his rookie season. But like with him, it's just evident you don't have to be a certain age to be just a bucket getter. Like this dude just gets buckets. The other night, he just hit a buzzer beater against the Bulls to win the game. Like, just goes down in the paint. He's 6'10", bro. Goes down in the paint, turns, like, bucket, right? I really like Paolo Banchero. He's smooth. He's comfortable too. He reminds me a lot of Jason Tatum in terms of like mindset. JT, when he was younger, I mean, he's like still young, but when he was younger, he used to just be quiet, roll up, drop 25, win a game. Like, same thing with Paolo now. Second year. And they're both Duke boys. That's kind of fun. He's only averaged about 18 points a game so far this season, which isn't like crazy. I think that's going to bump up a little bit. But you also got like Franz Wagner on the team and Mo Wagner as well, who takes some shots, and Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs. Those guys are all a lot of ball movement. It's a lot. You're going to see like the Magic's a team where like 7 guys will be in double figures, like often. There's not like a really main scorer, but don't get that confused with that they don't have guys to go out and give you 35 a night. Like Paolo is one of those dudes. And just like the next team that I'm going to talk about that I have talked about, so I'm not going to give that much time, the Magic could realistically be a top 6 seed in the East this season. Like they might not have to worry about a play-in spot. Like right now it's Celtics, Sixers, Bucks are kind of Knicks are there, Cavs are there, Pacers are there. Like those are 6 teams that are good. Then there's the Heat, but the Magic are in that 100%. Watch this team. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying these are like the best teams in the NBA. This video is about teams to watch for. Okay, teams y'all need to watch this season. The Orlando Magic is one of those teams. So I already made an entire video about the Rockets, but that's because the growth has shot off like a rocket. I mean, yeah. The veterans they added on this team were perfect. Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks were amazing. And like I talked about in the other video, great leadership, great defense, great offense. Dillon Brooks is, I think, 50, 40, 90 right now. Maybe. He was like a week ago. And Fred VanVleet is just solid. Like these guys, Fred VanVleet has a championship ring. Dillon Brooks played the playoffs a decent amount of times. Like they have enough veterans to bring up the young guys, but not enough to like smother them. Enough to just let kind of the young wings just kind of grow a little bit. I want to see more from Jalen Green, but not in terms of like handling the ball situation. I just want him to have more possessions. Just dish it to him and let him just go for like, it only takes him 5 seconds to actually make something out of a possession, right? And I think he's a real threat offensively when given a chance to just go for it. Like that man is athletic. He can shoot. He plays pretty good defense. He's just energetic, runs the floor very well. I think they've got a really, really, really good opportunity to just let him grow here better than what they had in the past. Jabari Smith is in the same category, but is a completely different offensive specimen, if that makes sense. My buddy kind of compared him to Paul George. Taller, smooth with the ball, good shot off, like, and all of this is orbiting around Alperen Sengun, who is just like, who I personally think is the second coming of Pau Gasol. Like this dude, not crazy fast, passes the ball. The only other good passer at his height is Nikola Jokic. 2-time MVP, 1-time NBA champion, 1-time Finals MVP. And Sengun is so young. He's younger than me. He's 21. He already plays with such like kind of nonchalantness, like chill, low-key pace, but is still deadly. Like he played Jokic last week, and he gave him 23, 8, and 5. Like, if you can see a pattern, I like teams who have some veterans, have some young guys, but then the young guys also play with like a swagger and like no fear. And they just go out and ball. Like, I'm glad to see Jalen Green's just going out and balling now. Like, It's ballers win. It's just as simple as that. Like, good teams win games and they win championships. That's all I gotta say. So watch out for the Rockets. If you haven't checked out the video, go watch the video. I talked a lot more about it in that video, about how good these guys are and all that jazz. So yeah. These teams are all good teams, as I've discussed in the past few videos. Guys who just want to get along and want to work together. And frankly, I think this is the edge that the teams have to make a jump. The Rockets and Magic are already there for now, and the Rockets don't even have Amen Thompson due to injury. The Spurs, however, are still working out some kinks, but I think they will be a contender for the play-in tournament come playoff time. Nothing else to say. These three teams are the three teams you need to watch out for. The Rockets are surprising. The Magic are just fun, dude. And the Spurs are having some growing pains, but when you got the greatest prospect in the history of like all time, like it's going to be hard to kind of just input him and with all these other young players. They're taking their time. They'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. They'll be really good, especially like next year. Like next couple years, the Spurs are going to be back, baby. So check that out. If you haven't already checked out that other Rockets video, I talked about that. Check that out. It should be up here in the corner. But yeah, man, I like what we got going on right now. NBA has been good. Some parity. Not a lot of super teams. So interested to see kind of how Milwaukee works out with Dame being there and how that goes out with just being in the Eastern Conference. But we got some good teams, man. Rockets, Magic, top 6, baby. That's what I got going on. Don't yell at me. I just watch. Y'all figure it out.